Hello, and welcome to another video. And in this video, I am looking at the Derwent Graphitints. Now, I have the 12 pencil set and the paint pan set. Now, I know they also come in XL blocks, but I haven't tried the XL blocks of any variety as of yet. So, if you have and you think that they are worth me trying out as well, let me know in the comments below. Now, there are I think 24 colors available in the pencils. I'm not too sure about the paint pans. I think this is the main set. I don't know if you can get any individually, but I do have a nice variety here. There are a few overlapping. I noticed 3 to start with: Port, Dark Indigo, and Aubergine, but Slate Green does also overlap, so that is 4 overlapping, but it still allows for 16 individual colors. But when you see them swatched out next to each other, there's still enough difference between the pencil and pan version of each of those colors that they do seem like different colors almost. And I thought I'd swatch everything out, starting with this cool brown, which is like a greeny gray brown, a very unique color that doesn't, I think, come up in very many sets. Now, I have swatched out all the pencils before on this channel, but I haven't swatched out the pans at all, and I thought it'd be really nice to see them all together, particularly those ones that overlap. But we've got Cocoa next. Um, but what I really like about the Graphitint is the muted color palette. Now, watercolor pencils have been my main form of watercolor growing up. Because of their accessibility, I think they're quite easy to get a hold of. Um, we have chestnut here. So having this muted palette brings a whole new variety of sort of creation. Sort of it lends itself to more moody pieces, whether landscapes or natural landscapes or urban landscapes. It opens up a whole new variety of uh, things to color with watercolor pencils, or now this pan set that I have. And this autumn brown is a really beautiful color. It's a very red brown. It's also very unique, like the cool brown. And then we have the russet here, which is like I think a greener, more vibrant version of the cool brown. But they lend themselves really well to a different variety of drawings or paintings than your typical watercolor sets. Now, of course, you can do a lot of mixing and whatnot. I always found mixing pencils to be a little bit difficult. It's something that I struggled with growing up, so it would have been really nice to just have these on hand. I'm a lot better at mixing pencils nowadays because there's a whole array of ways you can use watercolor pencils rather than just sketching it down like I have. Now that there is ivy, which is a really beautiful green, a lot like the meadow, but it does dry significantly lighter. I think you could get a sort of similar color if you kept layering the ivy down, but it's still quite nice as they are in the different forms. You do have those similar colors, but they work really well if you wanted to take um, just the pans or just the pencils. You can fall back on similar colors. Now, this is where I realized that the slate green also overlaps. Um, but as you'll see, there is enough difference between the two mediums that they do feel complement like colors that complement each other rather than the same color. Now you do get a nice bit of granulation with the pans, which just isn't something that tends to be available for watercolor pencils. It's very hard, I imagine, to make any sort of granulating pencil, but there is a bit of that granulation in pans, which I know is a lot of people are a big fan of. Now it's not all of the pans, but some of them. Now this is green gray, which to me is just very gray more than there's any green in there. That one doesn't granulate very well, but the slate gray does. Slate green. Getting tongue-tied, I apologize. Now this is ocean blue and probably one of my favorite colors in the set, both the pans and the pencils. I really like that. Dark, rich blue. It's very, very pretty. We've also got steel blue, which is a nice grey blue color. Um, in that muted effect, they work really, really well together. But I think you could use these with other sets to give yourself different depth of color, just to allow for a whole range of different things. I haven't actually tried using the Derwent Graphitint pencils with other varieties, but I definitely should. I've mostly just kept them on their own to make moody paintings. Um, but it's definitely something I should look into. Now, these two side by side here are both versions of the dark indigo, the pan on the left and the pencil on the right. But as you can see, the pan has a fair bit more, it's darker, it has a touch more purple. It's looking slightly more purple on camera than real life, but it is, I would say, a shade more purple and it is darker. Whereas the like dark indigo pencil is a lot lighter and has it's bluer as well. Whereas the aubergine has the opposite effect. The aubergine pencil is extremely purple, as you can see there below, whereas the aubergine pan is a lot grayer. It still has that purple hue, but the pencil is most vibrantly purple. Now, this is the port, which is a deep granulating dark red, but the pencil is a lot more vibrant. It's a lot more red. And so side by side, they don't look like the same color at all. Particularly the port, I would say, they look very different. I mean, the aubergine does as well. I will show them off closer in a minute. But now we have juniper, which I think is another one of my favorite colors in this set. It's a purple gray. It's just stunning. It's like the color of stormy clouds. I am obsessed. That and the ocean blue might be my favorite colors. Um, Now, if I could show you the actual name of this one, which is Storm, that would be handy. I get a little excited once I get into the art. I forget to show the pencils or I show them incorrectly. I just am obsessed with swatching. I just want to keep swatching. And I remember, oh, wait, you're still filming. You should definitely, go in and make sure that, people that you're trying to show this off to understand what it is that you are doing. So that one is Storm, followed by Cool Grey, which is a very blue grey. Um, Another very pretty color, but they, being pencils, it takes a bit more to get that pigment off. Um, Video cut out there a little bit, but that is Cloud Grey. It is another pencil. And yes, those ones are quite a bit lighter. Definitely you could layer them down or put a bit more pigment down, even shave the pencil end a little bit to get a much richer color. But that is something to keep in mind. You're going to get easier access to the richness of color from pans than pencils. But you've got graphite gray from the pan there, and finishing with the midnight black, which is surprisingly, it's nowhere near as dark as you'd like it to be. I was definitely surprised in re-swatching this that the graphite gray was significantly darker than the um, midnight black. Now, obviously, you can layer them once it's dry, put a bit more color down. Um, but just on a face value, it is quite light. But as you can see, they all go really well together. The only distinct difference between, like, say, the pans or the pencils is that some of the pans are able to granulate, which is quite nice. But they go really well together. They are a really nice matching set. I very much enjoy having all of these, and I will show them off in a drawing in a bit. I don't think I use all the colours, but I use a fair few of them. But here you can see the variety between the so-called overlapping colours, how different they can be. Particularly your port and your aubergine, I wouldn't consider them the same color at all. So that is definitely something to note. You don't have to worry about wasting money on if you've got the pencils. You can definitely still buy the pans and not be wasting your money on buying like double ups, or vice versa, which is what lends me to think that it might be worth getting the XL blocks, just to see, as I do really like these colors. They're some of my favorite colors out there. I say that, but I'm also obsessed with pastels and really vibrant colors. Um, I think I say this in every other video. It's very hard for me to pick a favorite color because I like them all. It's very hard for me to pick a color that I dislike because I see a purpose for all of it. I just very much enjoy color. But black and white and grayscale can also be a lot of fun. But no, the pencils and the pans work really nicely together. They blend really well. Um, no, I'm very happy. I don't regret getting the pans now. I was a little worried. I really wanted to try it out, which is a lot of what uh, my purchases are. So I just want to try it. I just want to see what it's like. But is it going to be too similar to the pencils? Am I, just buying more unnecessary goods? As I'm trying to be more conscious of what I'm buying. But if you recall, these pans were in a haul video a few weeks ago. I've tried not to buy any more since, and I'm just slowly going through it all, just appreciating what I have, taking the time to look at everything. Um, but no, it's definitely there's enough difference between the pans and the pencils to warrant, I feel, to warrant me having both. Even the overlapping colors are different enough in their different sources that they are not they're worth having both of. I'll say it again, particularly the port and the aubergine are so different in pencil version and pan version that it's hard to call them the same color at all. But as you can see, that juniper purple in the sky works really well. I probably went a little heavy with the aubergine, but I still think that it makes a really nice, those stormy skies when it just gets so purple. And you don't want to be anywhere near the beach when it's storming because of how ferocious it gets. But it definitely lends for beautiful landscapes. Now, if I was smart, I would have done this based off a reference image, um, because that's how you get the best pictures. But this is just a bit of a slap together drawing just to sort of show off how the pencils, how the pans, how they work together, sort of testing it, seeing how they look. And they're really quite beautiful, I think. I love these colors. I definitely recommend if you are interested in graphitint. If you don't have any, both the pencils and the pans are really nice to have. I wouldn't say I prefer one over the other because I think they both have their uses, and it depends on what you prefer, how you prefer working. Both are really good to have, and yeah, no, I'm really happy. So this was just a quick little drawing, as you can see, showing off the different colors. Um, I tried to go in with a Posca marker to add some of the white back, but it didn't work too well for me, but that's all right. Um, but no, they're really beautiful. I definitely recommend. As you can see, yeah, close up, you can see a bit of the granulation in that juniper. You can see close up how different those colors are. That ocean blue is stunning. No, they're just a really beautiful variety of colors. If you like muted colors, I 10 out of 10 recommend Derwent Graphitint. That's pretty much it for this video, so thank you for watching, and if I'm lucky, I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye!